The heart has a mental and cognitive features. That is, the heart can learn. لهم قلوب لا يفقهون بها. The heart can what? Learn. أفلم يسيروا في الأرض فتكون لهم قلوب يعقلون بها. The heart can also what? Learn. Long before scientists told us in 1993, we understand that the heart can also what? Learn 1,400 years ago. So the heart is also a physical thing that you can see and touch. And the heart also has a spiritual component, because the first ruh that was given to what? The body, it went into what? The heart. That's the first thing. From the heart that it got disseminated into other parts of the body, then we call it the nafs. The summary is that whoever comes in front of you for advice, for counseling, and the ummah you talk to, understand that they have three major components. Three major components. One is their physical aspect, two is their spiritual aspect, and three is also their intellectual aspect. Now the intellectual aspect also learned from three roots. The intellectual aspect. This mind, it's learned from what? Three roots. That yesterday we talked about. And these basic roots, as we learned yesterday from Surah Al-Fussilat, Quran chapter 41, verse 20. We said, حَتَّى إِذَا مَا جَاءُوهَا شَهِدَ عَلَيْهِمْ سَمْعُهُمْ وَأَبْصَارُهُمْ وَجُلُودُهُمْ بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. So over here we understand that سَمْعُهُمْ, their auditory system. وَأَبْصَارُهُمْ, their visual system. Then وَجُلُودُهُمْ, also their kinesthetic system. We've taken the basis and we now come to deliver. And we are going to make our delivery in two different forms. Individual and congregational. Individual and congregational. And the individual, we are going to make it two forms. We are going to make it comprehensive one and then the very short and immediate one. You meet somebody inside the taxi, you meet somebody just by the roadside, and you just want to do some small da'wah. You just have 30 minutes, or you have 20 minutes, or you have 10 minutes. How do you do that one immediately? Or, you are given 1 week to do da'wah. How do you do that one? You are given 1 month to do da'wah. How do you do that one? If you are given 1 year, you are going to stay with the person as a neighbor. How do you do those ones? That's individual. So even the individual, we have immediate and comprehensive one. And then also the congregational one too. Once they are gathered and you are going to address them like the way we do on Fridays, how do you do that one? All these things, that is the next step we want to. And if Allah gives us the opportunity for us to be able to continue, then we now come to counseling itself. Somebody comes to you, he has a problem. How do you solve the problem? You are the imam. He comes to tell you, I have a problem. My problem is that stopping fornication is very difficult for me. I have a problem. Stopping alcohol, drinking of alcohol is a problem for me. To stop is a problem. How do you handle that one too? As what? Imam. We'll give a scenario like you've met somebody in the taxi. You want to do da'wah to that particular person. How will you do it? Number one is that the person you have met, the person, you don't know the filters that are in the minds of the person. Is that okay? You don't know. They are negative, they are positive, they are this, you don't know. And because you don't know, first of all, you have to normalize the filters that are in the minds of the person. Or you have to put in the filter that you want. Either you normalize the filter in his mind, or you put the one you want in his mind, even before you start talking. 2-3 minutes. You greet the person, Salaam alaikum. The person might not also be a Muslim. Good afternoon. Then he responds. And when you are greeting, to take your time. Because some visual people don't like greeting with the hands. But a kinesthetic person will be happy. You hug him, he'll also what? Hug you. So after the greeting, definitely you have to accompany your greeting with smile. The most frequently used sunnah of our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is what? Smiling. The sadaqah he gave most is what? Smiling. Nana Aisha radiallahu anha says that even when our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is sleeping, you find him what? Smiling. And smiling is one of the most effective tools in breaking negative what? Filters in the mind of the person and building a good what? Filter in the mind of the positive one. So you just need to smile. And after you smile, you have to do what we call pacing and leading. Listen to it well. Pacing and leading is a strategy. Pacing means that you have to bring yourself physically, intellectually, physiologically to come the same way like the person. The same way. That is min anfusikum. لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ. Anfusikum means that the same people. You can't be different. If you are different, it won't do. So for you to build a rapport, you have to be the same thing. So the person cannot be seated and you go and stand by, hey, how are you? Fine. I hope you are doing well. Have you heard about Islam? No. It won't work. It's sitting and you are standing. No. If he is seated, you have to also what? Come to the same level. Come to the same level with them. Even children, you want to talk to the child and let the child listen to you well, you have to go down and get the eye contact with what? The child. Or you pick the child up so that you have the same what? Level. Your heart should come at what? The same what? Level. Pace with what? The body. You pace with what? The body. And then you continue to build the filters you want in the mind of that person. You ask of the name. What's your name? And the person says that, oh, I'm Isaac. You say, wow, Isaac people are really very gentle. They are very good. Is it haram to talk good about people? No. You are free. Allah has already put within the person good things. It is only this world that is corrupting the person. So you are giving the good thing to what? The person. So Isaacs, alhamdulillah, they are very good people. Is that only thing? You said they are very gentle. Is that only thing? They don't like quarreling. It means I'm going to tell you something, don't quarrel. Is that okay? All the things you want to tell him, you don't want him to quarrel with you. So you say, oh, Isaac people, they don't want to do. And you said they are very what? Humble. It means I'm going to talk to you, be humble. So all the qualities you need from that person. Look, if you talk like that and finish and you start talking and he wants to ask you a question, they'll say, hey, the guy say, I don't quarrel. So the guy say, I don't quarrel. So I don't have to what? Quarrel with the person. The person wants to say, no, what you are saying is not this. The guy say, I'm humble. So I have to humble myself. Do you understand what I mean? And then you keep this, oh, as for Isaac people, one thing I like about Isaac people is that they are always behind the truth. Wherever the truth is, they are what? There. It means when I tell you that this is the truth, you don't have to say no. So, after you have implanted some of the things, within him, the filters, whatever you want him to be, and the end results, normally when you are planting the filters, we have general ones that you plant. That is humility, gentility, and then what? Peacefulness. These are general ones that you plant. Sometimes it is not only his name. You ask of the name and the hometown. Are you getting what I mean? Oh, this is my name and I come from Kenema. Oh, fine, Kenema. Oh, the Kenema people are very, really peaceful people. Very humble people. I really like the place. Maybe you don't know Kenema. Do you understand what I mean? But, they are peaceful. And when you go to Kenema, won't you get peaceful people there? You can also get what? Bad people there. Is that not there? But you is the peaceful people you know. So Kenema people are very peaceful. They are very humble, very helpful. In fact, I really like them. It means I want you to be peaceful, humble. But what are you going to talk about? And what is the end results? There will be certain characters attached to the end results. Take that one and build a filter in his mind. The example is what I gave. That is, if you are going to request for money, then you have to say that Kenema people are very generous. Are you getting what I mean? Yeah. Because in the end, I'll be requesting. So I have to let you know that you are generous. Yeah. And when I request, you can't afford to to cancel that feature. Is that okay? Now I've already said you are generous. And we've accepted. You didn't also tell me, oh, we are telling lies, we are not generous. And I continued and I requested from you, you can't cancel it. You have to what? Do it. Is that okay? So the end resource, the way you want it to be, you have to build also some filters in the minds of what? That particular person, the end resource. So you add that particular what? Filter. Before you start, and even the filters, building and breaking of filters, you would have done that one during the physical pacing and leading. Physical pacing and leading. That is, you have made sure that the position that the person is, you are also at that what? Position. Then you now come to body pacing. We are still talking about pacing. We'll come to the leading. The body pacing is that as you are seated with him, it depends on the time you have. Are you getting what I mean? As you are seated with him, if he does this one, then you also do what? That one. So as you are seated, the person does this, you also what? Do the same thing. The person turns here, you also what? Turn the same thing. When the person comes to the neutral place, then you will take the lead to do something. If he also does, then it means it's now, you can now talk. He's now in the trap. Yeah. Is that okay? I don't know whether you are understanding me. Huh? Do all that he... Now some of you, you want to do this and your wife will talk. Just keep quiet. When she sit down, you also what? Sit down. And as she's talking, so she puts her hand this way, you also put your hand that way. She does this way, you also do this way. Then you come to do and she also follows. She's in the trap. You can now start talking. That is what we call the leading. After you get all these things correct and you are going to start, then we say you should do what we call the sandwich method. Listen to me carefully. The sandwich method. Now, sandwich method is that there is something you want to change in that particular person. Why do you want to change the thing? It's either because the thing is not good or it's not perfect. It might be good, but it's not better, it's not the best. So you want to what? Change. You can't just start by telling the person that thing that is not good. Do you understand what I mean? So sandwich method, if you have ever bought a sandwich, you realize that you have bread under, bread on top, then there is what? Meat. So converting that to make the bad thing you are going to tell him or her, the person should chew it and feel like it is meat. You have to first of all mention something very good about that particular thing that you admire. That is very good. Before you start talking or before you start doing your da'wah, you should know two good things about the person. Two good things about the person. If it's your wife, two good things about your wife. You bring the good thing. Then you now let the person feel the effect of that good thing within you. The effect of that good thing within you. That is actually stabilizing your relationship. That is making people like the person. That is making everybody admiring the person. That is making everybody praising the person. That's the first step. You said the good. Then you now bring the second bad thing. Okay? First good. Second, you are bringing the bad. But when you are bringing the bad, what do? The Quran tells you that kulli ibadi yaqulu allati hiya ahsan. Is that okay? Yaqulu allati hiya ahsan. We want to follow this sunnatullah. The bad thing that you want to say, don't bring the bad thing in its raw form, but bring the solution to that bad thing. يقول التي هي أحسن. Bring the solution to that bad thing. That is what you are bringing. You are not talking about the bad thing. So you are running away because Allah is warning you. Salamun qawlan. If you look at qawl in the Quran, the one Allah wants us to use, qawlan layyina, qawlan karima, qawlan ma'rufa, qawlan sadida. No matter how bad the thing is, you are going to what? Take it. You are going to give the solution to that thing. And you know, the reason why our communication or the way we do our da'wah doesn't help us, because we present problems. We don't present solutions. And if you are to present solution, it will take you time before you talk. Because you have to think, sit down, think, reflect, what will be the solution, what will be, before you go to what? Talk about it. Is that okay? So first of all, you talk about the good thing about the person, then you come about the bad thing, but instead of talking about the bad thing, you talk about what the person will do in order to nullify what? The bad thing. So you are still not talking about the bad thing, but indirectly you're talking about. Then finally, you talk about another good thing again about that person. Then you leave it like that. You know what you have done? The bad thing you have talked to the person is not in the mind of the person, but it's inside the heart of the person. Always the person will be remembering to ensure that he doesn't do that thing. I'll give you an example. You and your wife. The example is maybe she bringing your food late. It might be one of the common problems. You go to the house, then the food is brought what? Late. Is that okay? And you want to really express this one to her by using the sandwich what? Method. First of all, you should have passed through all the other distance. That is the pacing and leading. She's seated. You are also seated at what? The same what? Level. I mean, you've ensured that your body and everything is now passing through the same. You've done all that we've talked about, the pacing and leading. You are now coming to talk. And the talking, we are saying, use the sandwich what? Method. So you have to discover two things that are good about what? Your wife. Two things. Number one, it could be how good she is in cleaning of what? The hall. That's one thing. I'm using that one as an example. Then number two is how good she is in bed. That's also another thing. But you have a problem. And your problem is what? The way she prepares your food what? Late. So when you sit down, my dear wife. Anyway, during the pacing and leading, how are you, my dear? How was today? MashaAllah. In fact, you really work very hard. May Allah Azza wa Jal reward you. And I pray to Allah Azza wa Jal that inshallah in heaven we should meet like this again and enjoy more than even this world. You know one thing that makes you so unique to me in this world? Your level of cleanliness. You know how Rasulullah says, "At-tuhuru shatrul iman." Cleanliness is half of what the iman. Without you, look at the way normally I just come, just throw my shirt, this. But before I go and come, you arrange everywhere what? Very nice. In fact, it makes me like you a lot. And even the whole of my family, they are very happy with you. Anytime they come, they see the place well ordered and every day just like it. Alhamdulillah. And I think what will even make them like you, and for me to even like you the more, anytime I come from what workplace and the food is just ready, MashaAllah. I mean, it makes, you are not saying you bring your food late, oh. No. Because as soon as you say that one is finished, trouble come. Trouble don't come. But you see, I mean, if the food comes early, MashaAllah, I think we will all be happy. Are you getting what I mean? And then, I mean, we won't get sickness. In fact, even I heard some doctors saying it's not good for us to eat late. If you say that one, she'll catch you. Don't say it's not good for us to eat late. But what do you say? They say it's good for us to eat early. They say it's good for us to eat early. It will make us healthy so that when we are going to sleep, we won't sleep on what? Food. Then you now come, but you've brought the bad distance, but in a different way. You are now coming to bring the good one again on top of it. Then you say, oh, but I mean, the way your bed, this thing, you are clean. I mean, you ensure you bath, before our tahajjud on the bed. I mean, that is what. Now, after you finish, when you go out, you know what you'll be thinking? My husband loves me. The family also loves me. Hey, to increase this love, the food will have to finish fast. Do you understand? The food will have to what? Finish. You have not put in her mind that you don't like her, or you don't like that particular aspect of her life. You understand what I mean? Yeah, so we are summarizing before we go for break, and then we come back again and look at the general one. We are summarizing on individual one-to-one. In individual one-to-one interaction, first of all, you have to ensure that the person is in a good and positive state. Okay? Good and positive state. It means that the person is not too sad, he's not too annoying, he's not too happy. You won't be moving and then you are going to the mosque, and just before you enter a mosque, you see a man and then motor just knocked the man. And the man fell down, he's feeling pains and he's too sad. Then when they got a chair for him and he sat down, he's too sad. Then you come and say, how are you? Do you know that it's good to pray tahajjud? What will the man do to you? Because the man is not in the mood. The mood is negative. So in a negative mood, you don't. You have to ensure that you get a positive what? Mood.